So in this video, I will be showing you a lighting technique that you've probably used countless times but never really realized that you were. So hi everyone, this is Jiggie, a portrait and wedding photographer from the Philippines, and welcome to the channel. So before anything else, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel and would want to learn more about off-camera flash photography or maybe just photography in general, then this channel is for you. So you might want to consider subscribing, and while you're at it, click that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Now, if you want to learn more, I actually do give one-on-one workshops, the details of which is in the description below. And lastly, if you want to see more of my images, you could always find me on Instagram. It's at Jiggie Alejandrino. So once again, welcome to my small home studio. And for you guys who are familiar with the channel, you know that this is my shooting area. This is about 2 meters by 3.5 meters deep. Though unfortunately today we will not be using just this shooting area. I will actually be shooting somewhere near where my recording camera is. Why is that? Because I am shooting a full body portrait. Now, as you can see here, I actually have my seamless backdrop setup. It's color gray here, and I just wanted to cover up the mess here that you guys normally don't see. And I decided to use a white seamless paper there so that I get a bit of bounce also from the light. So the modifier that I will be using for this shoot is this one. This is the Magmod Magbox. It's a 24-inch octabox. Now, it also has a focus diffuser installed in it or in front of it so that I can focus the light. And the light that I will be using are both from Profoto. These are the Profoto B2s. They're 250 watt flash units, okay? So what is this lighting technique that I am talking about? Basically, it is more or less very similar to what they call focus stacking, or sorry, light stacking. In other words, you've got two light sources coming from the same general direction, but each light source will give a different purpose. Now, I have here first one bare bulb Profoto that I will be putting right here, okay? And the purpose of this light will really just to bounce light off the ceiling and just creating that beautiful natural or overall light for the scene. Now, instead of bouncing it, you could also use your biggest modifier, but I decided for this particular shoot, I just wanted to use one modifier to make it a bit more affordable. Now, you don't necessarily have to use this Profoto lights also. You could use whatever light you have at your disposal, so long as you understand how I will be balancing it, which I will explain to you guys later. So this light here will basically just give me my overall light that's going to be bouncing all over the place, and it's even going to bounce here. So it's just going to create really nice soft light all over. So this is very similar to an overcast day. Then you'll have one more modifier that I will be putting here. And as you can see, the general direction of the light will be coming from here. And the modifier that I will be placing, or the other light with the modifier that's focused, will be placed in the same general direction. In other words, since this one is focused, it will just be focused on the face and maybe the torso of my subject, who again will be my wife Coco, of course. And it is probably set, this is the one that will give proper exposure. The light that's bouncing off the ceiling will be maybe about a stop under, just so that we can get a little bit more focused by light, okay? So with this light setup, let's talk about the settings of my camera. All right, so now you guys can see behind the scenes of what it actually looks like and how messy it is whenever we're shooting these videos. But I had no choice. I had to shoot as far away as possible because I am doing a full body shot and I don't want to put in distortion. So right now I am shooting at 70mm give or take, or 50mm give or take, with my 24-70 2.8 lens that's attached to my A7R Mark IV. Okay, so well, before I get into the settings, I'd like to talk about this one. This is a Atomos Ninja V. In other words, everything that you guys are actually seeing now is a live view from what my camera is seeing. In other words, everything that you will be seeing is straight out of camera. Absolutely no editing will be done unless stated otherwise. Normally, I put that at the very end of the video. Okay. Now, I also have it mounted on my Peak Design carbon fiber tripod. This tripod, especially in this case, is very small, it's very light, it's very sturdy, takes up very little space. That's why I'm able to really pull back this far. Okay. So, oh, and one last thing, if you guys might be asking, because I've got a ton of questions about this already, I actually use a small rig cage in order for me to be able to attach all these peripherals on my camera. All right. So what are the settings of my camera? Right now, I am on ISO 200, f5.6, 1/250. Why am I on ISO 200? Because these lights are just 250 watts. So since I am shooting at 5.6, we need to be able to get as much power as we can from them. Then, the trigger that I'm using is this one. This is a ProPhoto Air TTL. This trigger allows me to wirelessly control all these flash units so that I don't have to keep coming back and going back and forth to change the settings. Now, the images or the settings that you are seeing now is really not an actual representation of what my exposure is set to. The reason being, every time I put a TTL trigger on my camera, it automatically disables live view. Now, in order for me to be able to see what my actual exposure is, I will have to turn off or remove the trigger. So if I turn off the trigger, that is my actual exposure. So my actual exposure right now, it's pitch black. In other words, we are not getting any of the ambient light, and therefore all the light that you are seeing now is coming from my ProPhoto lights. So let me turn them on again. And let's go to my white balance. My white balance, I will set to 5600 Kelvin because these lights are rated for 5600 Kelvin. And my shooting mode or my focus mode is on AFC because I actually like just pressing the AF on button in the back and letting the focusing point just continuously focus on my subject's eyes. Okay? So with that out of the way, I think it's time for me to call in my wife, Coco, who will be our subject for today. Okay? Hi, babe.
Hi.
So you look good as usual. And again, we'd like to thank our friend Mela Jimenez for virtually assisting Coco put on her makeup today. Okay, so now let's deconstruct the light. And I'm sorry, babe, we might have to do a little bit of test shots first, okay? So what I did is I turned off the light that had the MagMod modifier on it. And this is the light that's giving the overall basic light that's really just spreading around. So this is how it looks like, okay? Overall, this particular light actually looks good already, the same way light from an overcast day would look good. But look what will happen now if I actually turn this one off. Wait, I'll turn this one off and then I will turn on the light that's coming from, or the light that has a MagMod mag box on it, and I will show you what that light is doing. So that is what this light is doing. It is actually directed on Coco's face, right? So the moment I turn both of them on, okay, you will see that you're actually getting light and contrast on Coco's face because of this MagMod. Now, I said I'm gonna join you here. I'm gonna join you here so that I can explain to them. As I said in the intro, this is actually a lighting technique that is being done all the time. They just don't realize it because this light here, the bare bulb, is actually representing the sun. In other words, you've got beautiful light that, let's say, for example, we're outdoor, right, babe? And we want to be able to control that light. That's what this light is representing. This is the way we control that light, okay? So, all right, so now with that, let's start shooting. All right, babe, perfect. Can you move slightly to your right, to your left? That's perfect. Okay, perfect. All right, 1, 2. Very nice, beautiful.
Sorry, one more time.
So every time, so this time, let's do it quick. Every time I pop, change your pose. Okay? All right. 1, 2. Very nice. Cool.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Beautiful. Oops, sorry, I missed that.
Sorry.
One more. Okay, 1, 2. Very nice. Can you move slightly here? You're off the light already some more. All right, with that pose, one more. 1, 2. Very nice. Maybe look towards your light. Very nice. Good. Love it. I love it.
Oh, sorry. This is the left.
Yes. That's okay. You can.
Okay.
Right? Okay. See, a good model always knows where their light is, so they should always be facing the light. So that's why if you notice, she was very hesitant because she wasn't facing the light. Okay, so that's another tip for you guys who are shooting with models who aren't really that, how do you say it, who aren't that experienced. Just make sure to remind them where the light is always. Okay, babe, maybe like 5 last shots. Or last 5 shots. Look at the light now this time. Okay, next. Put your hand down. There, perfect. Let's do a few more of the ones you did earlier.
Okay.
Okay, 1. Chin up. Chin up. There. Tilt your head this way. Perfect. Look towards your light. Look towards your light. Chin up some more. Too much. Bring it down. Good. Perfect. Tilt your head a bit more. And how about we'll do some movement with your hair. Okay, just flip your hair, okay? On the count. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, go. There. But remember, look towards your light and smiling already, okay? On the count. 1. There.
This way?
Yeah, that way.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, so that was it. Thank you again, babe, for doing this. And of course, just to recap everything, we had one light here serving as an overall fill light. And this main light is the one that gave us the contrast that we were looking for, just to give shape, form, texture, and depth. And basically, this lighting technique, you guys have been doing, especially if you've been doing off-camera flash photography, you've been doing it, but unknowingly, not really thinking that you could replicate it in the studio, right? Because this one represents your sun, and this one represents the light that you're using to control the sun. But some people actually call this technique light stacking, but in a way it is the same. It's just the basic principle of this one is make sure that the general direction of the light is always the same. So even if you're putting 2 lights, you make it look as if it were 1. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do consider subscribing to the channel, and while you're at it, click that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Now, if you want to join that one-on-one online workshop, the details of which is in the description below. You want to give your social media? Oh, well, it's Coco Alejandrino, and you can follow me at Jiggie Alejandrino. Okay, till the next video.